So good morning, everybody. Thanks again for dropping in to hear the latest screenshots. We're recording live at our great friends in Meductic at Cummings Brothers. We'd like to thank the staff here for allowing us to continue our great recording. But today we're trying to keep it warm to kind of melt some of the snow out there. We're talking about some of the controversy and the obviously immense quality of Lawrence of Arabia. Now, Lawrence of Arabia was a 1962 epical historical drama based on the life of T.E. Lawrence, directed by David Lean and produced by Sam Spiegel through Rising Pictures. It had a great screenplay with Robert Bolt and Michael Wilson. Now, it starred a young Peter O'Toole in the title role and depicts Lawrence's experiences in the Arabian Peninsula during World War I, in particular the attacks on Abu Dhabi and Damascus, and involvement in the Arab National Council. It talks a lot about Lawrence's emotional struggles with his thoughts about the personal violence inherent in the war, his own identity as a bisexual individual, and his divided allegiance between his native Britain and his newfound comrades within the Arabian desert tribes. It has an all-star cast including Alec Guinness, Jack Hawkins, Anthony Quinn, Omar Sharif, Anthony Quayle, Claude Rains, and Arthur Kennedy. Now, it was a tremendously recognized movie for the time. A lot of people consider it the best movie of the 1960s, and it's been very influential through the years for its cinematography, its script, and its direct approach to the Peter O'Toole performance. It was nominated for 10 Oscars at the Academy Awards in '63, won 7, including Best Picture and Best Director. It also won the Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture Drama and the BAFTA as well for Outstanding British Film. Now, in 1998, AFI called it the 5th best movie of all time, and the British Film Institute named it the 3rd greatest British film of all time. Now, the movie itself is in several parts. The Peter O'Toole character, when we first see him, is kind of a tentative pencil pusher, and he's allowed to make contact with the Arab tribes, and he basically finds his identity and finds his path by being a motivator towards the battle against the enemies of the United Arab Tribes and the Brits. But as the movie goes on, he becomes almost like a golden god to the people he's working with. He commits an execution early on, which motivates a lot of the followers to look him in as a united force. As the movie goes along, we're looking at several times where the T. Lawrence character is looked at as a motivation to drive the enemy into the ground, and that's what happens. But the biggest problem with the movie, of course, is not the recognition, but a lack of recognition for Peter O'Toole for the Best Actor Oscar. That year, Gregory Peck won for To Kill a Mockingbird, which was a great performance. But for Peter O'Toole not to be recognized is kind of a head-scratcher, because in every scene he carries in the movie, it's almost 4 hours long, and Peter O'Toole could only play Lawrence in his movie. He looks like the original Lawrence. He acts like the original Lawrence. He brings kind of a diverse opinion to what's needed to be presented. Gregory Peck's performance was more stagey. It's been done as a dramatic stage play through the years. Peck's performance is quite important, a very important book, but it doesn't even compare with a 4-hour performance that Peter O'Toole does here. And considering David Lean always had his muses, including Omar Sharif and Alec Guinness, in this case he brought the best out of Peter O'Toole. And I think the great performance we saw from Peter O'Toole in the 60s later on are all pretty well based on what Lean and everybody else brought out in Peter O'Toole. But this movie is very strange too, because there's not one significant female character in the movie. A lot of people consider it almost passive-aggressive gay cinema. I tend to agree. When you don't have any female character in the movie, something is going on. I don't know who you're trying to appeal to, but maybe that's why the Academy of voters maybe didn't vote for Peter O'Toole, because all the female people were saying, how come it's all men? You can figure it out by yourself. Now, if you have a chance to see the movie, it's on TCM on a regular basis. The DVD revival versions are quite good. Peter O'Toole and some of the other actors redubbed some of their language for the expanded version. Again, the cinematography is excellent, especially with the match scene and the Omar Sharif appearance in the desert. moving towards the water station. The cinematography has never been better in any movie of all time. If any problem with the movie, some of the supporting characters are over the top like Peter O'Toole, but not to the level of quality like Peter O'Toole. Like when Peter O'Toole stands on the train after the train has exploded, stands out as probably one of the most important diva performances of all time. You might as well say, as Peter O'Toole plays Lawrence, he's a diva. He's basically using his intellectual, his beauty as a negotiator to get all the tribes to back what's needed to be done. But like I said, the only problem is the movie itself not having any female characters. You don't have that other side of what Lawrence might have been, but that's a decision by Lean and the producers. This is a 10 out of 10 movie. I met one person years ago who said it wasn't a good movie. I haven't talked to him since. That's how much I like this movie. And what is totally bizarre about this, the version in French, there's two versions. There's the Acadian French and the Quebec French, and each one has a different world to it. And if anybody's studying film, this is the movie to start with. There's a lot going on here. But you have to take it in sections. It's almost like a 6-part miniseries in a 4-hour movie. So on this beautiful morning in Metuktик, we wish you a great day. Keep your stick in the ice, and don't forget the Oscars are coming out, and you'll never see Peter O'Toole again, and that's too bad. Have a good one. Bye.